Greetings to all. This presentation is on ecological stressors. Briefing you about the ecological stressors. Step by step, we'll be going with every presentation with respect to one stressor. Like we'll be talking about heat stresses, cold stresses, adaptation to high altitudes, and with respect to infectious diseases. So these will be going simultaneously. This presentation is more or less an introductory and briefing you about what exactly do you understand by stressors, what are the exactly the different forms of stressors and things like that. So beginning with the presentation, definition of stress. How do we understand the concept of stress? I'm pretty sure in schools we have understood in our physical sciences how we conceptualize this idea of stress. It was defined as force which is being exerted in with respect to a given area, right? Or if we understand in a more generic term, it is understood as the force that is being exerted by the external factors, and there is a change or a sort of response being brought in the internal state or state of the person or the human being, or any for that matter any organism wherein upon which the external factor is being exerted, right? So this is the exact conceptualization of this of stress. Or when we understand stress, it in ecological term, it is understood as the internal changes that is being triggered with respect to a given stress related condition, right? Be it in terms of behavioral changes, or be it in terms of their physiological changes, biological changes, genotypic level changes, phenotypic level changes, howsoever. So these definitions of stress varies, the definitions of stimuli varies, the definition of responses vary with respect to different contexts. Therefore, it is different. The form of stress, the understanding of stress is different at different level of complexities. When we talk within a human organism, at the level of stress, at the level of cells, the level of stress or the impact of stress or the impact of stimuli or the impact of response being brought out is totally different to what we talk about as an organism as a whole, right? And when we consider the stress being exerted at an individual level, it is understood through their cellular changes or their biochemical reactions at the biological level. Apart from that, there are behavioral adaptations, there are behavioral responses to a given stress related condition. So both culturally and biologically, the responses are observed. These responses could be short-term responses, these responses could be long-term responses, depending on how impactful the stimuli is, how impactful the stress related condition is, and whether that sort of availability of resources is, comprehending with the stress related conditions. Now, stress is not just the attribute of stressor, but is also an attribute of the stressed. As in, we understand stress not just being exerted by the environment, but also which is being exerted from within, like a biological component. Also, it is understood as an attribute of the stressed. Thus, environmental stress and the level of stress imposed can be defined in relation to the organisms or the population experiencing this particular stress. Therefore, different stressors are understood as in different contexts, such as physiological stresses. There is environmental factor which brings out the changes within your biological system, and these could be potentially dangerous if we talk in terms of the evolutionary courses. Physiology has had a very long-term changes. It has brought out really long-term impacts within the human population, so in some situations it could be potentially dangerous as well. Now, what is the difference between a stress and a stressor? We often mix up with these terminologies. Basically, stress is understood as a stimulus, okay? And stressor is understood as a stimulus, something which is being exerted upon, and stress is basically a reaction to that stimuli, right? As a response to that stimuli is understood as stress. and therefore these differences between the technical and the terminologies have to be very much clear when we subsequently discuss with different stress related conditions. How do you understand stress and how do you understand stressor? Charles Darwin, in his book Origin of Species, he stated that naturalists continually refer to external conditions, be it climate, food, as the possible cause of variation. In one limited sense, this may be true, but it is preposterous to attribute to merely the external conditions alone. The structure of, for instance, of woodpecker with its feet, beak, then their tail, their tongue, so admirably adapted to catch the insects under the bark of the trees. With this mention, he basically indicated that even though the adaptation of individuals to the natural or the physical or the biotic environment or is more or less central to the theory of evolution, he thought that it was mainly governed by inter and the intraspecific competition between the organic or the organisms, and not merely just the attribute of the external conditions, right? Now, ecological stresses, if we had to speak, narrowing it down to specifically the ecology related stresses, so there are few environmental related stresses which had significant impact on evolutionary and the ecological processes that affected and shaped the genetic structure, the genetic pool, and the evolution of the human populations. Thus, there is a growing interest in investigations on the role of environmental stresses in relation to natural selection for with respect to the resistance to any given stressor or any stimuli related condition, or how over the period of time different populations have adapted to response as a response to different stressors, especially in terms of growing impact of human activities on the natural environment, which are causing changes within the not just the behavior but also the physiological level changes, right? So these environmental stresses, they emphasize on the reduction of fitness in organism or the population due to different environmental factors. Therefore, this phrase reduction in fitness, it indicates something which is being stressful for a given population, for the given organism, right? These are quite simplistic terms, but when you refer to in a context, these terminologies, these technicalities have to be very much clear, and that is the whole purpose of discussing these at the preliminary discussion. Now, how do we classify different forms of stresses? There are two forms, as we know: extrinsic stresses, there are intrinsic stresses. Extrinsic stresses, basically these are caused by the changes in abiotic factors such as temperature or say climatic factors, the chemical composition of the environment, or for that matter soil, air, land, everything, right? And there are few stresses which are happening which are like a part of our biotic component, like say your parasitism, your competition with respect to different organisms, and your predatory behavior, etc. Intrinsic factors basically are the genetic changes in the organisms or the population, so to say. For instance, if we say about the inbreeding pattern, the inbreeding depression within the consanguineous marriages or within the marriages that are related, so that form of or say that form of that part of our culture basically is impacting on the whole gene pool. So this is exerting pressure over our genetic structure, over our genetic pool, and therefore it is referred to as genetic stress. Both the types are preferably investigated together, because when you talk about extrinsic factors, you cannot deny the existence of intrinsic factors. Therefore, understanding of a more holistic or a more comprehensive understanding is very much required, because few stresses have been a part of your long-term changes or a long-term response which has been brought out within your genetic pool, right? And if you study like at a given moment of time, at a given point of time, with respect to only the extrinsic factors, you cannot deny that there has been intrinsic factors that have created certain gene pool, and because of that their response to a given extrinsic stresses is so and so, right? So therefore these have to be investigated altogether. Now, the understanding of stressors. Basically, these are few conditions, be it thermal related conditions, be it height related, or be it the exposure to any infectious disease. For instance, if we talk about the pandemic scenario, the exposure to having this COVID-19 novel virus, it again is a threat, is a condition which is a threat to the current existing human population. The outcome being either the survival or either the death, right? So therefore, when we say a human biology is affected or it's disturbed due to certain external conditions, external for now, for in this context, therefore when we say that the homeostatic condition is generally not maintained, or a balanced biological function is not being performed by a living organism, then those conditions which are posing that threat to the normal functioning of human body is generally called as stressors. These could range from different forms. For instance, this could be a virus related event, this could be a chemical or a biological agent like the pandemic, then these could be environmental conditions such as climate change, then there could be external stimulus like excess heat or excess cold, or any related event that could cause stress to an organism. Think of any stressor around you currently. I mean, apart from pandemic, we've already discussed. Apart from pandemic, if you can think of any other stressor, just give it a thought. So therefore, these different stressors, if we had to talk, there are different stressors, be it in terms of pollution, be it in terms of wildfires that we have seen recently, or thermal stresses, temperature related gradients, radiations, climatic events, cyclones, and different events like that. Then there are biological pressures. So all of these are posing time and again, or simultaneously they are coexisting and posing threat to the survival of human condition. So to say, this circle could be more broadened. These are more generic terms that I have put it for your broader understanding. Now, how adaptation is understood as a consequence of stress. So when we say that with respect to environmental conditions, human beings or any living organism for that matter, they are trying to adjust to those environmental conditions. So that adjustment, or that act of acquiring certain characteristics, be it in terms of your morphological changes, your physiological changes, your behavioral changes, so that your survival is improved, you are at a better status of having a reproductive success or having a survival rate, so to say. That condition or that response to any given external environmental condition is referred to as your adaptation. Now, stress, if stress or any stressor is being acting upon a community or a population, in a response to that stimuli, you have your adaptation mechanism, be it your physiological adaptation or your behavioral adaptation. We'll be subsequently discussing these different principles of adaptation. All these all together are important, so to say, because if they do not exist, then probably the chance of survival is reduced to almost zero, and therefore there is a full-fledged chance of having that community or that population being extinct, if at all they do not adapt to given stress related environment. So therefore, adaptation comes as a rescue or as a consequence to any stress related event, right? So this is for it for now. We'll be subsequently discussing different principles of adaptation. We'll be bringing in different ecological stressors. Yeah, so thank you.